Hello, everybody. This is Gail Perry. I'm here today with our consultant, Chuck Davis. How are you doing, Chuck?
I'm great, Gail. So good to see you this morning.
I know, so much fun. And so, guess what, everybody? We're going to talk about major gift strategy and why your organization needs a flourishing, growing, solid major gift program you can really count on. We have seen some of the largest organizations in the country and the world falter with their major gifts program, haven't you? Haven't you, Chuck?
We
And
have.
and even small organizations have been able to really do it beautifully. So major gift strategy works for every size of organization. And the beautiful thing about major gifts is that it helps secure your organization's future. Right, Chuck?
It absolutely does. I think if you approach it with a very intentional and strategic approach with honest relationships at the core, you can absolutely count on them for revenue.
And from a leadership perspective, from the board and strategic perspective, you've got a fundraising environment and a philanthropy environment that is very unstable with grants coming and going and government funding coming and going. Events are never really a reliable source of raising revenue. Many organizations are coming to us looking to grow their major gift capacity in order to secure their organization's future. Would you agree, Chuck?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's exactly right. And, we've had clients that have vacillated and struggled a bit with giving up some of those galas. And, if you look at it through a data lens, the ROI is typically just not there. We like to think about using events often as very intentional and strategic donor engagement events. So, it's important to look at the whole of the program, and particularly when you're looking at the major gifts program. And we'll talk about this morning, but how you need to think about putting scaffolding around that program so that you can have a predictable flow of income to support your mission and also a predictable way to communicate with your leadership up and down the organization. Very, very important.
Absolutely. Let's bump it up a little bit and talk about strategic revenue sources for an organization because you've got probably some government funding which may or may not be stable, grant funding that may or may not be stable. You've got your direct mail, social media, email direct marketing program, but the money comes from Leadership Annual Fund and major gifts. If you look at a pie chart, in fact, the old saying about 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your donors is actually not true. It's almost 90 or 95% of your money comes from a smaller number of people. And across the board, we're seeing that small donors are dropping off. And so organizations again are looking at the major gifts, the passionate believers who have capacity, wealth capacity, and commitment to the organization. They're the ones who are really going to have the potential. Wouldn't you agree, Chuck? They have the potential to really take the organization far.
You're absolutely right. It is a frustrating thing to see those smaller donors kind of peel out of our donor list, but it certainly is a national trend. And we have limited resources, limited time, limited staff, so it's really incumbent upon us to focus our effort as development professionals into the places where we can secure the most revenue the quickest for our organization, and that is time and time again going to be in this major gift space.
And we see a lot of issues and challenges when organizations try to really solidify a reliable, systematic major gift program. The donor lists are scattered. The priorities, nobody really knows who to call on when. There's not really a system to track your donor relationships so that they are actually nurtured appropriately. And also, we see that there's no shared team strategy, going across the team that everybody is following the same system, the same language, the same approach, the same strategies. So sometimes we see fundraising teams working very hard, but without the structure, they're not able to be successful. Do you see that, Chuck?
Yeah, absolutely. And the other important, we like to say fundraising is a team sport, and it certainly is, if anything was ever.
Yeah.
But looking at it through that lens does a couple things for you. One is it takes the pressure off one person as the sole owner of the relationship for the organization. It's always important to remember we represent the organization, and with a structured, very intentional approach to how we're coding our relationships, how we're looking at it through a systematic lens. Should we leave the organization, the last thing you want is for those relationships to go away and for nobody to understand exactly how to pick them up and move them forward. It's about the organization and the mission, not the person. So that's really important.
Major Gift Fundraising is a team sport, everybody. And a word from your sponsor, we are promoting our Major Gifts Intensive, our spring cohort right now. And I wanted to remind everybody, if you're listening, that the Major Gifts Intensive is going on over 10 years. We've had remarkable success with $1 million gifts, $100,000 gifts, $250,000 gifts that have come in during a 3 or 4 month program period, just because they know the questions to ask and the way to move the donor forward. And so I designed the Major Gifts Intensive way back in order to support organizations to build and implement a system that would stay in their organization, build up the infrastructure, the know-how, the attitudes, the participation, the team. So we invite everybody to come as a team. We want at least 4 people from every organization because the benefits of a team joining, getting the same training you've got. Tell us the benefits, Chuck, when everybody's speaking the same language and using the same strategies.
Sure. Well, I think the benefits are many and somewhat hard to articulate, but I think it provides transparency and clarity for the organization, both up and down. So when everybody's singing from the same song sheet, everybody's using the same language, everybody is aligned on the strategy and the systems and the reporting. It not only serves as a form, if you will, of risk mitigation for the organization, but it takes away any cloud, any aura of mystery that can sometimes surround this work with your executive leadership, with your board, really with everybody throughout the organization. Gail knows me as a storyteller, and I have worked at many institutions and higher ed primarily. And there was always this aura. So what are these development people doing? They're out there having coffee and lunch, and nobody really knows. But ensuring that you have the right scaffolding around the work, you can communicate transparently throughout your organization mitigates that tremendously.
That's right. And so, for example, if the team decides to have small donor coffees or porch parties as a donor cultivation and nurturing tool, everybody in the organization understands the strategy and they understand why we're doing it so they can support. That's just one small example of one particular major gift strategy that can be embraced by everyone and understand why we're doing it. There's no second guessing. And so let's talk a little bit, Chuck, about what are the components of a successful major gift program? I always go to the prospect management system to help you track your donors and keep up with who needs to be touched when.
Well, Gail, I don't want to be snarky, but I would have to say I would take
Please
that
be
step a
snarky.
level. The most important element for any major gift program is major gift prospects. So,
Yes,
but how we think about those prospects, how we look systematically at those relationships, how we begin to kind of slice and dice those donor lists, looking at our prospects with the highest capacity and the highest affinity. How are we looking at those people? How many are there? So, looking at the quantity of prospects we have and where we are in relationship, with each of those folks, and ensuring that the entire team understands that in a transparent way, one, and two, that we have authentic relationships with our prospects such that we understand after a visit or two, where we are on their list of philanthropic priorities, where are their passions. I'd like to say this. One of our great colleagues, Gina Vaughn, said this at a session last year, and it stuck with me more than anything ever, which is that donors do not give to your organization, they give through it. So it's really, really important to keep that in mind. And it's our job to help them facilitate their vision and their desire to change the world through our organization and putting the scaffolding around that work so that it's transparent throughout our organization.
Thank you so much, Chuck. That's well said. And so everybody, if you want to create or bolster or build up what you already have, your major gift program, and create the kind of cash flow and revenue security from knowing that you've got passionate donors with capacity who really want to help. If you want your team to know which donors to focus on, if you want to be able to communicate, set fundraising goals that everyone understands that are based in numbers and data, and how about this, align your leadership team around donor relationships. Consider joining the Major Gifts Intensive. We are closing out our spring registration on Tuesday. And if you are slightly bit interested, I'm happy to hop on Zoom or the phone with you to see what your challenges are and what you want to accomplish and what you think is possible. Because we don't want you to leave money on the table. We want your organization to thrive and grow and succeed. And also, we want you to have a cadre of loyal, passionate supporters with wealth who are in your back pocket, who stick with you, who believe in you, who trust you, who are committed, and are going to help your organization fly. So that's the goal of the Major Gifts Intensive, and we'd love to be able to help you. And Chuck and I will both be involved. I'll be doing a lot of the training myself. It should be lots of fun. What do you think, Chuck?
Yeah, absolutely. And two things. It's a wonderful program. One, we always learn something from our clients and from our participants. It's a really interactive time. So that's always a joy as well. So and we have a lot of fun. So we'd love to have anybody and everybody join us that would like
We do
to.
have a lot of fun. I just want to remind everybody too, we've had $1 million gifts closed during this 3 month training program, just because people knew the questions to ask the donors. And one young woman turned a $1,000 donor into $100,000 gift on the phone. And the donor is throwing money at our clients because they were not asked. The donors were not asked. But we taught our fundraising, our students, our clients, how to ask questions to lead the donor along and open the donor's heart. And boom, they say, I really want to invest. It's a joy, isn't it, Chuck? It's a joy to do this work.
Yes, it's been a joy for me in my career, that's for sure.
So over and out, everybody. Good luck with your fundraising. Let us know if we can help you. We would love to support your growth, your personal growth, your team's growth, and your organization's future.
Thank you all.
Bye.